Hello. Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Prashant Kuberkar, Assistant Professor of English, SNH Department. Extend a cordial welcome to the gathering for this invited talk on the auspicious occasion of World Intellectual Property Day by Dr. Nandita Sethi garu. To begin with, let me take this opportunity of inviting the dignitaries onto the stage. So it is my pleasure to invite our beloved HOD, SNH Department, Dr. T. Shekaram garu, onto the stage. Thank you. And I would like to invite our speaker, guest speaker today for this program, Dr. Nandita Sethi garu, onto the stage. I request our HOD, Dr. Shekaram garu, to present bouquet to ma'am. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. I would like to read out a brief profile of our speaker, Dr. Nandita Sethi garu. So, Dr. Nandita Sethi is the founder and MD of the Entrepreneur Zone, which is an entrepreneurship development center and a startup accelerator, providing mentorship and consultancy to startups and businesses. She has a doctorate in international economics, and in her 30 years of experience, she has trained several top mid-management levels on global markets, business environment, corporate reforms, marketing trends, strategy and leadership, entrepreneurship and intrapreneurship. She has authored the book The Asia Pacific Region, Emerging Opportunities for India, and edited the books Global Meltdown, Regional Impacts and Rethinking India's Growth Strategy, Services and Manufacturing. Since 2015, she has been mentoring and consulting startups and budding entrepreneurs through her organization TEZ, which runs programs to help startups SMEs. She is a mentor for TIE, GIT, ISB, TEP, CII, IWN, University of Hyderabad, ICRISAT, T-Hub and V-Hub. She has been awarded the TIE Best Mentor Award 2016-17 in the TIE ISB Connect Hyderabad, the Indiewood Business Excellence Award in November 2019, and the COVE Confederation of Women Entrepreneurs Excellence Award in March 2021, and 50 Top Women Achievers Award by T-Hub on 8 March 2022. She is the past, She is the past chairperson of CII India Women Network 2019-20 Telangana, which helps women professionals and entrepreneurs. She is also a TEDx speaker. Her organization, the Entrepreneur Zone, has been adjudged as the top 10 startup consultant organization in India in Silicon, India, November 2016-17. And many startups have taken mentorship from TEZ and have launched their businesses. And today her mission is to integrate entrepreneurship training deeply into the existing educational system so that we see more startup activities on campuses and create a culture and thinking which is highly entrepreneurial. So it is a great privilege, ma'am, having you here. And I now hand over the session to ma'am.
Very good afternoon, good evening, I should say, to all of you. Really pleased and happy to be here. And thanks to the principal and our convener, Dr. Shekaram, and all the management of the college. And thank you all for being here. unlearning how to behave in your college. Right. Sure. Thank you. Yeah. So very happy to be here, and one of the reasons why I think I always love coming to back to college and amongst all of you is that actually being in your presence makes us feel extremely young, and also to spread something that I'm very passionate about is that youngsters like you should always think about how to do something on your own rather than look for placements. That is one of my agendas when I go to every college. So, and IPR, intellectual property, is a part of entrepreneurship. So that is part of the agenda. So all you youngsters, I am not so fluent in Telugu. I can speak, but I won't take the risk. Then whatever strength is there will also go away. So I will restrict myself to English. But at any point, if you have anything to ask me in the middle, please stop and raise your hand and ask me. I'll be very happy to address your questions. So what am I here for today? I'm here. Can you hear me, all of you? Yes. Even otherwise, I think I have a. Oh, I'm not supposed to touch that. I have a loud voice, so I think that's okay. It's audible, right? Yes. Okay. Yeah. So today is World Intellectual Property Rights Day. How many of you know what is intellectual property? All of you know. Have you heard of? Yes. Can someone share with me? And then I will. How do I start this? I think we have to start the presentation there. Yeah, let's start it from here. What's intellectual property? Anybody? When I came into your building, the first thing I saw, and I asked sir also, oh, you have a maker space. I was so impressed. And that maker space is, you're lucky to have this. Not everybody has a maker space. Of course, today most engineering colleges are supposed to have incubators and ED cells. So, and a maker space is something where you are actually supposed to sit and innovate and create something. Okay, that's a maker space. You're supposed to be tinkering around and utilizing whatever knowledge you have and then trying to make something in the maker space. Okay, so I'm glad to see when I entered that you have a maker space, and once you have a maker space and you have an incubator, now today by mandate every technical college, engineering, pharmaceutical, pharmacy, all technical colleges by mandate have to have an incubator. So what is the government trying to, why is the government trying to put this? It's trying to put this because it's too long since we have been thinking, and the narrative of the country has been that you have to educate yourself to get a job, right? Did you all grow up hearing this sentence? If you don't study well, you won't get a job. Yes? Tell me, how many of you heard this? I heard this. Yes, we all grew up. Our generation and even your generation grew up hearing, I'm sure hearing this, that if you don't study well, in a taunting voice, you will not get a job. Yes? From home to college to faculty, teachers, all of us, friends, we all talk this: if you don't study well, you will not get a job. But what if you can think outside the box and say, I don't want a job because I'm creating one for myself? That is entrepreneurship. And that's why we have incubators and maker spaces which you should utilize so that you do not look for a job, but you create one for yourself and maybe some for others as well. Am I going at the right pace for all of you? Yes? All of you are following? Okay. So today being World Intellectual Property Rights Day, I am going to talk about what is intellectual property, and we'll try to make it as less technical as possible so that you understand. Okay? I'm coming from a place which I'm starting from a latest thing. Okay? How many of you heard of NFT? I didn't touch this. Okay. I didn't touch it even then. I think it's allergic to me. Okay. I'm okay with this. How many of you heard of NFT? NFT, anybody heard? Yeah, tell me if you have heard of this word called NFT. This is the latest in intellectual property, where something which has been already viral, has been circulating for years together. It could be a YouTube video, it could be a tweet by somebody, it could be a photograph taken by somebody, it could be image, photograph, tweet, YouTube video, anything that has come on the internet, but you want to claim ownership of it. Why? Because from there on future you become the owner. Can you believe, day before yesterday, some tweet by some Elon Musk or one of the persons, I don't know, was sold for, that's an NFT, was sold for a couple of millions of dollars. It's a tweet which has already come there, already seen it, you might have downloaded it, everything is there. But now on, he is the owner. So it's called a non-fungible token. This is the latest in the digital world, which is an intellectual property. But I am coming from the other end now. This is the latest. From here I will go backwards to what is IPR. I just want you, because you're all in the digital world and you all know the internet very well. So NFT is the latest in the digital world in terms of intellectual property. If you are taking any photo or video or anything, you might have already downloaded. See, there was a famous video by the name of Charlie Bit My Finger. They are two brothers. Charlie was the younger one. So the two brothers were playing and Charlie Bit My Finger. You can go and see if it is available on YouTube. This became a very viral video and it's a very cute video. And some years back, when Charlie and his brother was 14 years later, the parents had taken the photo, had taken the video, which was viral on YouTube. So everybody must have it, download it, no problem. But now the ownership of the video was sold by the parents to somebody who wanted to buy the video. And so he has taken the NFT, non-fungible token. That means now the video ownership belongs to that person. You might have it, that's okay, doesn't matter. But any future quotation, quote or usage of it for commercial purpose or anything, now the ownership belongs to that person who took the NFT. So that person, every time you use that video, you will have to pay a royalty to the owner of the video. The parents just took the video got viral, became famous, and Charlie Bit My Finger became very famous. So I'm just giving you one example, there are many like this, okay? So NFT is not synonymous with ownership title, okay, copyright or anything, but rather simply it's a cryptographically signed receipt that you own this, that tweet now belongs to you, the YouTube belongs to so and so. Already it might have circulated, doesn't matter, but now it belongs to so and so, okay. So this is the latest in intellectual property and it's very famous, it's now called as NFT. A lot of people are investing in this digital intellectual property which has gone on internet, and then it gets taken as a token by somebody by paying billions of dollars sometimes for a simple thing like a tweet also, okay. So now what are we going to do today? We are going to do quickly and I'll try to make it simple for you. We are going to do what is intellectual property, why you should be aware of it, and if you are creating anything or you have an idea and you want to take it forward. And you all know the story of Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg. You might be knowing that actually it was not only his original idea, and it was the idea of him and he was one of them, and there were other people too, two others I think so. But finally he took the idea and he created it into a social media, okay, Facebook. So later the other friends went and they actually did a case against him. So he was fighting quite a bit of number of court cases because the idea was not only his and not originally his. So what I'm saying is the idea may come, and if you don't protect the idea, this idea is your intellectual property when you are able to convert it into something, okay. If you don't protect this idea, then this idea will be taken away and it can be used by somebody else, right? So that's why we say that intellectual property is very important, and today being Intellectual Property Rights Day, we are here to discuss what is this. So under intellectual property, as you see, we are going to be discussing these things, copyrights, and then under industrial property, trademark, industrial design, patent, and layout design for integrated circuit. So I'll try to simplify it. It might look long, but we'll make it interesting, okay? So what is intellectual property? Intellectual property is a creation of your mind which you are converting it into, you're converting it into like a product or a service, or you're converting it into some expression. So whatever you're converting it into, which belongs to you because the idea was yours and then you converted. But remember, idea per se is not something you can call as intellectual property. If you say you have this idea, I have a brilliant idea, I want to make this, and with this thing this will happen. Many science students, especially engineering, they have fantastic ideas. The other day I was looking at a hackathon in Malla Reddy College, Women's College, and those girls came up with some very fantastic ideas. But the idea is only an idea. You cannot convert it into a intellectual property unless you transform it into an expression on something. Okay, that is very important. So therefore, if it is an idea stage, it is better that you do not disclose it too often. But at the same time, if you don't disclose it too often also, people will not help you with opinions and other things. So there is a thin line. How much should you expose yourself to telling about your idea and how much you should restrict? So that is also another challenge you have. But see, generally what happens, if you have a property, then you have a right over property. There's a paper which says you own the land or something. But if you have an intellectual property, you also have a right over that, because it is not a physical property, but it is a property right now in your mind. So if you have an idea and you express it either in the form of music, painting, sculpture, book, drama, any artistic form, then this idea gets expressed. Like you have books, you have plays, you have musicians, music compositions, then you have, this becomes copyrighted. You can copyright it, right? But the same idea, if you create an innovation, and if you have an innovative idea and you from that you create an invention, then that invention, which may be in the form of a product or even a service, right, that can be patented. You should apply for a patent and you should get that patent, and it takes time, but if you get the patent, then nobody else can make it and claim it's theirs, and if they do, you can fight a legal battle. Okay. The idea can also be defining that our product is different from others. Like if I do a Nike mark or a McDonald's M or something, yeah, it just tells that this is McDonald's. That just that M tells you it's a McDonald's, right? Or if you have a tagline, it could be sign, language, tagline, or anything which is an idea of an expression of quality and identity, then you can have a trademark. Now you know trademarks, right? All these logos you see, they're all trademarks. And that logo is enough sometimes to tell you the whole story about what the product is. Just an M, that tick mark of Nike, it tells the whole story. It's enough to tell you it's a great piece of shoe, it's a great piece of burger, whatever it is, okay? And if the idea is about appearance, that means how is your phone, design of your phone, design of the car, not about the engine, anything, just the design, furniture design, any design, it can be anything, okay? You can be designing any product, and there have been wars fought over design of phones, okay? So any design, then you can apply for what is called as an industrial design. It's not called patent, but some people call it design patent, but it's called industrial design, okay? You can get a certificate for exclusivity, that means no one can copy that design once you have got the certification of having a design patent, okay? And then if the idea comes from a geographical area, like for example, some of you might be from, let us say, Gadwal. What is famous there? Right? Some of you may be from Nirmal. What's famous there? Toys and paintings also. That Bomalu is from Nirmal only? Those toys. Yeah, and then you may be from Tirupati. What's famous there other than the Lord? Laddu. Laddu is geographical, right? It's only from Tirupati, right? Same way, you have many things like that. So if you have this, that this thing is coming from a certain location, then anybody who makes in that location can call it by the name of the city. So like Nagpur orange. I'll come to that, each one, okay. So that place has this, like Hyderabadi pearls, okay, or Bidri work, or whatever it is, we say Hyderabadi pearls. Any pearl that is, actually these pearls are not produced here, they come from, they're only cultured here. We just got the technology to culture it, or the skill to culture it. We learned, and Hyderabad has developed and has the skilled people to culture the pearls, right? So Hyderabadi pearls may be famous, right? The pearl city it is called. So any pearl coming from here, can anybody generating the pearl here can call their pearls as Hyderabadi pearls. Same way you have Basra pearls from Iran. That's from Iran. So anybody who's getting pearls from Basra in Iraq, sorry, call as, is it Basra is in Iran or Iraq? I think it is Iraq, okay. So, and then not to forget, in the internet world, very, very important, right, is that today data is so important, so confidential, and multinational companies and others, they work on data. So if data and other things cannot be kept a secret, then what happens? The company loses its niche over others, and if it loses its niche, then it loses its business, right? So therefore, every company has to maintain some confidentiality in the form of trade secret. So that is another intellectual property. Now let's go to each of this and we'll do it very fast. Okay. Got stuck? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. This was where we were. Why is getting stuck in this? Okay. Right. Okay, so briefly, I'll skip this one. It's about World Trade Organization and World Intellectual Property Organization. WIPO is for giving the patents and all that. So that means they look at the product and all, and they are the ones who will actually implement and give global international patents. WTO is the norm setting body. Throughout, it will set the norms for countries to do trade. See, if any country is not having strong intellectual property rules and regulations, no country will like to do business with us. So like for example, initially many people, they rush to China to do business with China. But slowly they realize that the Chinese are copying their stuff very quickly and making the same. For example, in China, you have every iPhone, you will have a copy. Latest series also, there will be a copy. There's even a Chinese Steve Jobs also. They have a local Steve Jobs also. Every phone will be copied. Every product, and it will be exactly the same, just they'll change the name by one word. So that is, you are going against intellectual property, because so much of effort has been done and research has gone into creating a product. Like for example, one lady was telling me, for ladies, this Louis Vuitton purse is one of the most famous purses, nothing less than 1.5 lakh starting, okay. So that purse you can get in China for a much cheaper price, same, it will look exactly the same, but instead of Louis, L-U-I or something, they'll change one U-I here, there, and the name, when you look at it, it looks like Louis Vuitton only. But that one word will be changed and it will be selling for like 1/10 the price. So anybody will buy it because in the market it shows to be a very expensive purse. So that's why WTO, it puts norms in countries that you have to follow certain intellectual property rules if you are a member of WTO, World Trade Organization. Okay. So like there is a lot of confusion. If there's somebody is like, what is trademark, what is copyright, what is patent, can I patent my copyrighted trademark? If somebody is asking this, they surely need this session. Okay, so so basically all intellectual property is divided into two. Okay, what is this two? One is for all literary activities, artistic activities. One, all intellectual property is divided into two. Okay, what are the two? One is literary and artistic work. Second is industrial property. Okay, so you can see this. This is the two. Artistic work, anything artistic, anything from music to dance to CDs to music to books, fiction books, to anything which is artistic, sculpture, painting, mural, anything you make artistic, it comes under intellectual property, but it comes under copyright. Copyright is the word used. So if you open your books, you will see copyrights with Pearson India, copyrights with Prentice Hall of India. You will see in the books, right? That means the author has given the copyright to the publisher. And of course the author will get royalties. But the copyright has been transferred to the publisher, and there will be some understanding or negotiation between them as to how much royalty will be given to the author of the book, okay, or the author of the painting, or the person who makes a movie. So movie also, copyrights are there. Broadcasting, news broadcasting, you will see copyright C to BBC, copyrights to NDTV. Those are all copyrights, and you cannot pick up any program or any news or anything from them and then put it in some other place without their permission, and there is always a copyright. So if one TV channel takes the news of another TV channel, usually it will give the credit, and usually it will pay them also some royalty for taking that. Okay. The other thing is industrial property, distinctive science, innovation. So innovation, design and creation of technology. All this can be, you can actually protect yourself from others copying by under these two major categories. So let's start, and under industrial property, you should be aware that distinctive signs are trademarks, geographical indicators. These are only signs, distinctive signs. So if we say Telangana got a GI, normally it is like that. Telangana got a GI for Nirmal paintings, or Telangana got a GI for something, anything which is produced. Like you have in Andhra, you have Guntur chilli is a GI, chillis of Guntur. Tirupati laddu is a GI. Okay, it's like, so you can say these are the distinctive signs. And under the industry, you will have invention, design, so product invention, design something new, trade secret, and integrated circuit layout. The layout of the circuit also can be protected and patented. Okay. So how do you protect the copyrights? So in this case, in copyrights case, it is first right belongs to the author. Like suppose I write a book, the right belongs to me, right? As long it will automatically come to me, nobody has to give me this right. So if I am the author of the book, the right, by default the authorship and the right of ownership belongs to me, okay? But it's because I want to commercialize it, I will go to a publisher and say, look to this publisher that you take this book and let's negotiate, because only he can publish it. If I have the money, I can publish it and put 200 copies in the market. Some people do that. But it's not like that. What will happen is, if you want your book to get commercialized, or anything to get, your music to get commercialized or anything, then you will take that book or something and give it to a publisher. The publisher will publish it, he will print the copies, he will put in money to print the copies, and he will put it in the market. And every time the book sells, right, you as an author, whatever your agreement is with the publisher, you will get some money. But now what is copyright? You have passed on your major commercial rights to the publisher, right? That means there is some negotiation that he will give you royalty per year. That means per book he will give you 40% or something, 20%, whatever you negotiate. You will get that royalty every year. That's called royalty. But the rights of reproduction, the rights of commercialization, and the rights of spreading the translation or making it into a movie, everything has been transferred to the publisher now. Okay, am I clear on this?
Yes.
All of you? So like, you know Chetan Bhagat, yes, what movie did he make? Three idiots and two cities, two states, yes. Both of them a book. One was 0.5 something and two states, right? Now he passed on this to the person who was making the movie. Now it has that the rights to make the movie has been passed on. There will be some agreement between them, but the copyrights has been transferred to the producer of the movie or the maker of the movie. Okay. So what is covered under copyrights? Books, films, dramas, dramatic things, like if you create a drama which is branded by you, yes. Musicals, everything, any musical, anything artistic, painting, murals, sculpture, anything, and sound recordings. All this comes under copyright. Like if you produce a CD also, you can give it to what is it called? Those music people are there who will take it, like Sony Entertainment and all those people, and then your music will get published or it will get publicized, and they will give you some royalty. And other people cannot use the same song or anything in their song. Whatever you hear today, when it is picked up from somewhere else, right? That means already some 60 years have gone by. You see the old songs, their lines are taken in the new songs. Have you seen? Because 60 years have gone by, the copyright has expired. Okay, then they can take it. Otherwise, they have to take special permission from the owner of that music or the owner of that music entertainment house or whatever, and then only they can put if they give permission. Otherwise, they won't. Okay, so that is the law. Okay. Now, because of IT revolution, you have a lot of recording, broadcasting, audio-visual work, computer programs, digital databases, internet and web content. Like even websites can also have a copyright. There are many people who see other people's website and they copy that. Okay, now what happens? Some websites also, they will obtain copyrights, because some websites are made very innovatively and somebody else will just see that website, oh, I'll also make like that, and he'll make the same website. So even websites can be copyrighted. And internet databases, any content on the internet, blogs, everything can be copyrighted, cable and satellite TV. And of course this bill was amended in 2012. What is not covered by copyright, you should know. So if anyone comes and says, idea, I have a great idea, I want to protect my idea, you cannot. You can't protect your idea. It has to be in some form, right? Because you are saying, I have this idea. Like for example, I usually nurture student startups. So every day one student will come, I have a great idea. Then tell me he feels scared to disclose his idea. I said, if you don't disclose, how will I know? When he discloses his idea, I will tell him, I've heard this 6 times before you. Right? So people are thinking alike, right? Many of them. So the thing is, idea you cannot claim that you are the first person. So idea is never copyrighted or patentable. Facts, if there are some facts, like I cannot go and claim that I discovered sun rises in the east and sets in the west. It's a fact. Or the earth moves in revolutions and rotations or whatever. This is a fact. Or I cannot go and say I created a theory that if I throw something up, it will fall down. It's a fact. Gravitation. Okay. So fact, recipes. Recipes also cannot be copyrighted. So if there is a 5-star hotel who created a great recipe and they have made this recipe, it is only Oberoi recipe or it is only ITC recipe or whatever, that cannot be copyrighted. But that chef, if he writes a book of recipes, he can copyright that book. But that still the recipe can be copied. The book is copyrighted. Now I make a recipe that cannot, I can't say that others hotels cannot make this because it's my recipe. That is not copyright. But if I write a book of recipes, I can copyright that book. But still, that book is meant for all of you to read and make it. So there is nothing like I can keep that recipe only to myself. That doesn't happen. Okay. But what cannot be copyrighted, like for example, phone books, Just Dial book, Yellow Pages, phone, these are all like directories and all those cannot be copyrighted. Names, titles and short phrases. So like if any parent comes and says, I kept my child's name XYZ and say, I will protect this name so that others don't copy, that you cannot do. So names, titles and short phrases cannot be copyrighted. Okay. What is the term? The author, when he is, or the maker of the artistic work, up to his life and 60 years after that, 60 years after his death, that the protection will be there for that book or that artistic thing. And if he is already for books, drama, musical, artistic works, life of the artist plus 60. But for films, sound recordings, photographs, and that means after the author died, if some book came out, or anonymous books without names, for all this, and if government or any international body is giving you an assignment, go to Africa and find out what is the situation of COVID in Africa, come out with a report on COVID. So UN is making you commissioned officer to go. One report will come, your names will be there. That again will have only 60 years, not because that is a commissioned work, okay? So, and all other arrangements which are typographical setting of arrangements, that is all only 25 years. Okay? So, always author is the first owner, he has to make a written, this is very important even for faculties who may be writing articles, author is always the first owner, but when you give it to a journal or you give it to your book to a publisher, you are transferring the ownership to them, but still you are still the owner, okay, the owner of the thing, but commercial rights you are transferring to the publisher, please remember that, okay. Once you transfer only, you also can commercialize the book and you can get some benefit. If you don't transfer the rights, the book will be with you and nobody will pay for it, right? So you transfer it to somebody and then they will market it and you will also get some return on the book written by you. So here there are two rights, always remember. One is economic rights, one is, this is very important for people who are writing articles, moral rights. So what is the moral right? I'll come back to Chetan Bhagat's book. Now in two states, the story ending was not the same as in the book. Okay? Story ending, the film guy has changed the ending. And even Chetan Bhagat was angry with him that why did you change the ending? But once the right has been given, it was given at too late to change. But there are some rights which you will still have. So what are those rights? It's called right to paternity and right to integrity. That means if somebody has taken your book and he has adapted it and he has completely distorted it, or he has completely changed the story and he has made it so much so that it is showing badly on you, you have the right to paternity, you are the father of the book, so you can go back and say, no, I claim that you cannot, even though I have given economic rights to you, I have moral rights. Similarly, if, in Infosys, if somebody makes a software, now you are paid by Infosys to make the software, you are working in Infosys, they are paying you. So all you can ask as a moral right is that copyrights will belong to Infosys or Microsoft, but if I made this or my team made this software, right, give me the right to at least credit my names on it. So you can ask. Anything, anywhere you are working and you are commissioned to do, you can ask them to put your name, though you will not get any commercial rights, but you will get credit that I was one of the author of the book or owner of this software or whatever. So that you can ask. Second thing is, if the book is totally distorted and not, put to bad use or something, or let's say if, you know Anup Jalota, right? Yes? Have you heard of the singer? He sings only bhajans and all that. Now suppose he's a famous singer, he makes a lot of money by singing religious songs. Now suppose his songs are taken and they are played in some pub or somewhere which is not the rightful place, he can go and say to the music company that you are mutilating, distorting my work by playing it and giving it discredit and disrepute, and therefore my moral right to stop you. So these two moral rights are there in the, okay. So let me tell you a case, then you will remember. There was this man called Amarnath Saigal, and he fought a case with Union of India for what? Union of India, Indian government asked him to make a big mural which was placed in the Vigyan Bhavan, Delhi. When in 1957, when the Vigyan Bhavan was inaugurated, the mural was placed there. So he was commissioned. In 1962, he completed that mural 40 feet into 140 feet. It took 5 years to make that huge statue, mural statue. And then in 1979, that building Vigyan Bhavan was renovating. So when they were renovating, they removed that mural out and they put it in a storeroom. After the building got renovated, his mural was lying in the storeroom. They didn't put it back in the renovated building. So Amarnath Sehgal went to the court and said, I made this mural 5 years. Of course, I have been paid by the government, but that is only commercial. So that is only commercial. But what has happened? You took my mural and you put it in the storeroom. And in the storeroom, nobody is seeing it. I'm not getting the credit. No one knows I made that. And my work is not being seen. Right? So he fought the case against Government of India. And then, I think it was Delhi government. And then he got damages of, in those days, around early 80s, he got 50 lakhs plus the mural was returned to him, other than the initial amount. Because you are reducing his importance, you are reducing his work, you are not showcasing his work, and his credibility is at disrepute. So that he won the case. Just because his mural was commissioned for putting in the Vigyan Bhavan and it was not put back. Okay, so again, this is more important for faculty. How much can you use when you are writing an article or you are taking some information? Normally, if it is photos and images, up to 5 works from one author you can take. It's allowed. Up to 5 works from one author, up to 10% or 15 works, whichever is less, from a collection, like an album of articles, album of photos, album of music. Up to 10% or 15 works from an album is allowed. Anything beyond that is called as plagiarism, or you are infringing on somebody's copyright. Okay? Database. Up to 10% or 2,500 fields or cell entries. Up to 10% or 2,500 of cell entries you can take. Beyond that, if you take, again you are piracy. It's considered as piracy. So there was this TCS employee in Hyderabad, and he was on a US project, and he was doing his work with his team in the office. And one day, his work didn't finish and he was very tensed and he wanted to go home and continue the work. But how can you do the work from home? Those days we didn't have work from home. So he has to take the data home to work. So he downloaded the entire data. Next morning he was given the pink slip. Because you cannot download the data. That's confidential. And so that was the case. Same way, going by convention. So anything, it's a general rule, if above 20% is matching, suppose you wrote an article or a PPT or anything, you compare it, if above 20% is matching with someone, if you put it in one of those plagiarism softwares, above 20% it is like you have copied it, so it will come under copyright issue. Below 20% will pass off, okay, because many words will match anyway. So up to 20% match is okay, above 20% normally is considered as plagiarism. And even in that 20%, the copy should not be in blocks. Like whole paragraph is taken, then it is, if that 20% comes like that, one whole paragraph is matching, then it is plagiarism, okay. But if it is scattered, then it is okay. I hope I am clear, yeah. So that was about copyright, which is more for the authors, painters, sculptors, mural makers. So those are the artistic guys, you follow that copyright. And this information normally nobody will give. But this is very important information, both for you guys also. Tomorrow you may be writing articles or you pick out photos from the internet, and usually you will be infringing on copyright. Tomorrow there may be a case of infringement. That means you have taken somebody's copyright. So you should be sure that you are not taking more than 5 works from one author and or 10% or 15% of a collection of works, okay. And for articles and all, so anything above 20% is considered as plagiarism. Now coming to industrial property, I will run this fast because I think more are interested in copyright than in industrial property, but this is important. You have a maker space here, remember. Tomorrow you will be making some products, so that's important. So for industrial property, normally there are patents, trademarks, industrial design, trade secret, layout, and geographical indicators. So we'll go fast. Now here, what can be patented? What can be patented? Just anything you bring cannot be patented. That product has to be novel, new. Something has to be new in that. Need not be the whole. Suppose there is, you make an air cooler. Like in COVID times, somebody made an air cooler. This was by All India Institute of Medical Sciences and some IIT boys. They made an air cooler. That air cooler's air has the property of killing the virus. It's called air cooler minus corona or something it is called. That air removes the virus, okay, up to 80% or something. So air cooler is already there, correct? But you made one addition to it. So if you make an addition, anything new, that newer part that can be patented, okay, that part. So anything new, useful, not obvious, it's not obvious, it's very obvious product, okay, pertains to pertainable subject matter. We'll come to that. That only you can apply for a patent. Otherwise, you are just wasting your time and money. So, yeah. Patentable subject matter. That means what can be patented, I'm telling you. You can patent a product or a process. Both. Even the process of making can be patented. Product can be patented. Any inventive step, like I just told you about air cooler. There's a product, but you made one new invention on the product, that can also be patented. The product that you make should be capable of having an application in industry. It's not like a beautiful product lying there. It should have some application that can be patented. And any machine or anything that you created can be patented. Usually a patent is given for 20 years. Up to 20 years. Suppose you made a new medicine molecule. In life sciences, molecules are the most famous and they make the most money, and the most patents come from pharma. Okay, so you made a new medicine, you made a new vaccine or anything new, and your company will apply for a patent and say this is novel molecule. It may take, so 20 years nobody else can make the same thing. Okay, so 20 years you have protection because you have spent a lot of money in research and development. For a single molecule to come out, it sometimes takes 10 years. Okay, only in this COVID times they hurried this vaccination. Otherwise, AIDS and all those, it took more than 10 years. Just everyone passed it off quickly because we needed a cure. But otherwise, it takes more, sometimes 10 years. The trials take 10 years to see the impact it has. Okay, so any of this which is novel, has an industrial application, can be patented, and the protection is for 20 years. After that, it becomes open. That means anybody can use the same formula. Is the patent in one country, you will get patent everywhere? No. Patent is territorial. If you have a patent in India, that doesn't mean that that same patent will be, you get protection in US. No. Or if you have protection in US that no one can copy you, doesn't mean you will have in India. It can be possible that the product is already there in India or in Australia. So every patent is territorial unless you apply for an international patent. Okay. So international patent will give you protection in like 140 countries and all that. That's very expensive also. Yeah, so it's a very territorial thing, okay? What cannot be patented also you should know. Anything which is very frivolous. How many of you were watching Shark Tank, tell me? Any of you watch Shark Tank? Raise your hands. Nobody watched Shark Tank? 1, 2, 3, 4. Why are you feeling shy to raise your hands if you really watched it, right? So why am I reminded of Shark Tank? I'll tell you. What is a frivolous product or contrary to natural laws? Either it is frivolous or contrary to natural laws. Did you find anything frivolous in that? There was one startup which came, and it's such a funny thing even to share. They came up with a product which is supposed to, it's a small thing which is supposed to be put in the navel to make the navel look nice. Have you seen it? And the moment they showed that on screen, the sharks who were there, they said, what kind of a product is this? Why did you even come to the show? Yes, some of you are laughing. Actually, do you think this is the only problem this country has, and you're coming up with a solution to make the navel look nice? Okay. So, frivolous. That's a frivolous thing. Okay. Such things or which are contrary to natural laws, which are contrary to public morality, obscene, such things, prejudice to human, animal or environment will not be allowed. If they are mere discoveries, they won't be allowed. If they are mere discovery of new form, new property, new use, no. Anything you mix two chemicals and you come up with a synergy, that is also not patentable. Okay? Any arrangement, rearrangement of an existing thing cannot be patented. Testing methods, like in India we make so many testing methods, testing your IQ, testing this, but that cannot be patented, but some of them can be copyrighted. Like HR, many of the things are copyrighted, some not testing, I think they are called more like psychometric tests and all that are there. So some of them are copyrighted, but there's no patent available for that. Agriculture and horticulture you cannot patent. Treatment, medical treatments also, new ways of treating you cannot patent. Plants, animals, seeds, varieties, biological processes, except for when you work with microorganisms you can patent. Okay? And all these literary works, schemes, formulas, presentation of information and traditional knowledge. This cannot be patented. Now I like to say something here. I am coming to this traditional knowledge. Yeah, first thing, just this is the youngest patent holder on wheelchair, and he was influenced by Stephen Hawking, who was on the wheelchair. What did he do? He made the same chessboard game. The chessboard is made with 6 players and it was made round. Games cannot be patented, but the chessboard. So what did he do? He has got the game's design patent. So he got the design patent for the board. The game cannot be patented. The design for this 6 players chessboard was patented. Now very interesting thing I am going to tell you. Now see, the US, what they did was, they got the patent for 2 things from India. Not from India, they applied and they got. What were the 2 things? Anyone knows? US got patent for 2 things, which was basically Indian. Anyone knows? Yeah. And?
College buses will start at 5 o'clock. Okay? Stay back.
We'll finish by then. If you cooperate with me fast, we'll finish by then. Yeah. Madam said turmeric. What other thing? She's right. So we just can't say turmeric. We have to say turmeric as for healing qualities. And second thing, neem for antifungal qualities. US got the patent. Hold on. And when they got the patent, the Indian government woke up and said, what the hell, we have been using this from ages. Our great grandmothers also have been using this. Neem we put in so many things so that the antifungal and anti-pest, yes? And turmeric and milk we used to drink for healing ourselves from ages. And how did US get this? Now how it works is like, when you are searching who else has made this, you will search. But all our traditional knowledge was in Sanskrit. So it was not showing up anywhere, they applied, they got it. Then the Indian government woke up and they created a digital library from Sanskrit. They translated all our Ayurvedic books into English. And that was a big project, very costly project. It's called as India's Traditional Knowledge Digital Library. And they made this project was between CSIR and Department of Ayush. And they converted every Ayurvedic thing what we had in written format in books, because we have to prove that we are the owners of this knowledge first. We have to prove. Where is the proof? Because the book is written in Sanskrit, no one can read. So we converted it into English and proved it that this is traditional knowledge of India. Okay. After that we claimed it back. Even yoga was taken by them. After the Ayurvedic books only, we got back all these things, turmeric, neem and everything. So what does TK mean? TK means that if we show that in any written format that this knowledge belongs to our country, it could be Africa, it could be any country, we have it in written format and we can prove that this knowledge is coming from so and so year, then that will be blocked for patenting. That means no other country can patent it, and nobody can patent it. It is just called as traditional knowledge. So somebody else cannot get commercial benefits out of a knowledge we generated as a society for many, many years. Now we blocked it and it belongs to, we don't call it patent, we call it TK, traditional knowledge. This TK belongs to India. Now you can't patent that fact, but you can utilize the qualities of it for making anything you want. That's okay. But no other country can claim that haldi belongs to, turmeric for healing belongs to us, or yoga belongs to us. No, you can't. Okay. And see, the only one, you can see this case, this tribe in Kerala, I think so, they have this Arogya Pacha. This became very famous in COVID times because it is de-stressor, it reduces fatigue, helps control tumors, boosts stamina. Then this only one tribe only knows how this herb, okay, and it's a traditional knowledge that this herb can be used for de-stressing, for immune building. Then this university, Jawaharlal Nehru Tropical Botanical Garden and Research Institute, they collaborated with this tribe and then they made this into a, this traditional knowledge was taken and it was of course patented by them with collaboration with this tribe. So that you can do. So anything after patent, there comes industrial design. Now anything you design, it could be for industrial purpose. That design can also be patented. It can be 3D, 2D, shape, service, pattern, lines, holograms, any of these things. As long as they don't come under artistic thing, they can be you can apply for a design patent. Okay, like you can see this. This is a carpet. This is patented design. This air cooler, this chappal, whatever it is, and this is a scent bottle. Even a capsule design is patented, this color. They have patented this yellow and red color. Not patented, sorry, it's called design patent. This purse, this thing, this helmet, all these are already having a design patent. So, normally what is excluded from a design patent? Any token, certificates, cartoons, cards, building structures, articles not manufactured and sold, flags, emblems, signs, trademark, all which comes under trademark cannot come under industrial design. Normally for any design the life is 10 years and extendable to another 5 years. You can extend it for another 5 years. Okay. So again this is the case of Samsonite versus Vijay. What did they do? This Samsonite made a case against Vijay that this suitcase is designed by us and Vijaya is selling it. So by the time the case came to the court, this Samsonite had not registered. You have to register the design. You just can't say that I am the first maker, so it belongs to me. That design has to be registered. So what happened was that the defendant had not registered the design. Once if you have not registered, okay, you can get it registered unless and until already it is not in the market at least 50 times or more. So if the product is not protected by registration and it has come to the market and manufactured more than 50 times, after that you cannot apply for a design. That means the Samsonite lost the patent for the design. Now comes to the interesting one, trademark. All of you know what is trademark, yes or no? Yes. Yes, okay. So anything like any symbol, logo, design, tag word, all these come under trademark. For example, you can look at this. These are called as word marks, word or letters, slogans or taglines. Then there's device mark. Device mark is a combination of them. Okay, when you combine a logo with something written, okay, logo with something written on it, tagline, together if you put 2-3 things, for example, look at this, Tata. There is a word, you can see, there is a word, there is a logo and leadership with trust. This is called as device. It comes under trademark only. Together you are putting all of them. Otherwise there is logo M, this is a standard. So you have word marks, device marks, collective marks. Collective is like if you belong to the Institute of Chartered Accountants or you belong to Institute of Engineers and you are an engineer. So in your card you can add a collective mark. That means I am Institute of Engineers I can write, or Institute of Chartered Accountants, or Rotary Club, Lions Club. Those are collective marks. But you can, if you are a member, you can write that with your name. Certification marks like for industry, ISI-AgMark, for food products, FSSAI. Service marks for companies which are providing services. Shape of goods also you can get a trademark like Coke bottle, Apple iPhone. Color marks, certain colors with the definition of the color exact. Like I'll give you an example. You all have heard of Ferrari car, yes? So they did humongous research on getting one color of red by mixing different red, oranges, shades and all. They put some 5-6 shades and they set it out for market research and asked the people which is the most attractive red color. And that red color which people chose at the top was actually created by them by mix and matching, and that came to be known as Ferrari red. Like you have navy blue, Ferrari red. So those are colors which have a certain, there's a certain number, denomination, that means the shade colors are certain, and that only has to be followed. Like if you go to HDFC Bank, you have red and blue. NDTV also has red and some color. Times has some color. Bank of Baroda has an orange color. There's a shade. So once you trademark it, you have to follow the same shade. Union Bank has some green color. Punjab, you will see each one has some color. Yeah, and there's a shade. There's not just blue. It's a shade. That shade gets trademarked, and nobody else can use that once that shade is used by them. Not many know this. Then there are sound marks. Like I'll come to that. So these are some of the trademarks like Coca-Cola, Adidas, okay, CII, Confederation of Indian Industry, and CA is a collective mark. These are collective marks. These are service marks, TripAdvisor, Infosys. These are certification marks, wool mark, silk. Like if you are gold or something, you'll have to go through a certain quality control. So those are the marks. And then if you have a series of products, then you will go by, it's called as a collective mark. Like for example, you can use the same mark for all of them, even though their varieties are different. Like it may be Spanish, cheese, Chinese or whatever, Lay's chips are with flavor. But you can go and you can call it, we have a collective mark, series marks for all of them. Okay. Yeah, so that, like if somebody says Raymond, yeah, so this is the correct way to write Raymond Textile with the same font, same size of the thing and font style same, and the color has to be. If you're not written like this, you write like this, it's wrong. Okay. Same way, here you can see Vimal has to be written like this and so on. Now what happens in many cases, there's a Calvin Klein and somebody will write Calvin Klein and sell like this. And kind of passes off sometimes, not so easily, but it does. Tommy Hilfiger, and look at this Tommy Hilfiger. Just one dash is there. In the original, there is no dash. Now if he puts a dash and go to buy a Tommy Hilfiger, I'm not going to see the dash is there or not. I will think it's the original and buy it. So if somebody does like this, normally he will not be given that trademark. If somebody applies for Tommy Hilfiger with a dash, he won't be given. Why? Because it's too close to the original trademark. Okay? So that way. Yeah, so if you have to look at it clearly, you can see the name Coca-Cola is a trademark. The logo type Nike, this is a sign mark. Symbol, this M is a symbol. Okay? And I'm loving it is a slogan. If I take both together, I'll call it as a device mark. The shape of the bottle, the shape of the Coca-Cola bottle is a shape is trademark, okay? And the color, this shade color or this shade color is a certain shade that can also be a trademark. So usually we think only logos are trademarks. Colors, lines, shape, devices, everything can be a trademark. Okay, I'm telling you all the varieties of trademarks. Even this can be a trademark. This is a sound mark. If this movie starts, there's a lion roaring. And in ICICI, there is a jingle. There's a jingle. If you open, just go to YouTube and say ICICI jingle or Yahoo jingle, you will get. In fact, I have it here, but will not play it. So Yahoo is a 3-note jingle. That is also trademark. Okay, nobody else can copy that. Then smell can also be a trademark. So there are some companies like magazines, they will put some smell. That smell only they can put, they have trademarked it. Pens, papers and erasers can have smell. There's a tire which has a rose smell, they have trademarked it. And there is a folders which you use for like conferences and all, they have some vanilla flavor, smell, so that's also trademarked. So, and tennis ball which has grass smell, so these are all smell scents. Then come to sentences. So Sony Entertainment Music has trademarked "Buy this cola very quickly." When the song came only, they trademarked. They got this sentence. Not just already the song is copyright. The song is already copyright. But somebody else can say, no, let the song be there. I can use the word "Buy this cola very tea." I can use it. Let the song be there. But so separately they have trademarked and copyright. This sentence is having a copyright trademark. Sorry, they have trademarked this to Sony Entertainment Music. Okay. Like that, there are many things, words, sentences, some of them have been trademarked. Nobody else can use it then. Yeah. So what is the duration of a trademark? Usually 10 years, and you can extend it to another 10 years. Normally it is like when the businesses keep going and they have trademarks, they keep taking 10 years extension. But what happens, some names come into public domain and becomes open after around 20 years. And for service marks, usually it is 17 years, and for the others 10 plus 10, 20 years. What is not registrable under trademark? If the mark is such a nature that it causes public confusion, like you go to buy a medicine and he'll give you crocin with a S, crocin, not CROSIN or MIN, chromin. You'll say okay, crocin, and you'll buy it. So if any such name is very close, you cannot, it will create confusion, they will not give you a trademark, you will not get that name, that will not get registered. Or if anything is hurting any sentiments, like somebody made, like if you make a chappal called Ganapati chappals, you will not get a trademark, it is hurting the sentiments. Or any obscene matter, it will not get. Or if you are using any word like UNO, WHO, you will not get. Or if you are using a word which does not signify what you are doing, you won't get. Like if there was a restaurant called Beef and Brew. Now they didn't get the name Beef and Brew because what are you? Are you a slaughterhouse? Are you selling non-veg? Are you selling distillery? I mean, are you a distillery selling beer? What is it? So they didn't get. But before them, already there were two people who were similar and they got. So once they get, they won't withdraw. For example, Head and Shoulders. Head and Shoulders, you know, shampoo. Now Head and Shoulders can mean anything. It can mean hair transplant. It can mean head surgery. It can mean anything. Head and Shoulders. But that shampoo got it, so they got it. Okay, so that Head and Shoulders and Fair and Lovely, they got it. But today, if you apply for such a thing like Beef and Brew or something which does not signify what the product is, it has to signify the product. You won't get the name. Okay, what are you doing has to be somewhere, it has to reflect in the name. So like this company Whirlpool, I'm telling you the live cases. Whirlpool, this washing machine, they forgot to renew the name. So it came under open domain. Some names, if you go to the website, it will come under open domain. So Usha Shriram, they were going into something, so they took this trademark Whirlpool and they started manufacturing either washing machine or what with this name Whirlpool. Then Whirlpool realized that Usha Shriram has taken the name Whirlpool, and they went back to the trademarks office and said, we are a global brand, everyone knows Whirlpool is our washing machine, how can you take away our name? Then because they are so reputed and well known and they forgot to renew and came in open domain, they were given back. Now why they are given back? Because it's a global reputation and goodwill status they had. So it was taken away back from Usha Shriram and given to, because Whirlpool was world famous. Okay. Now come to the interesting part, geographical indicators. So you look at all this, any product which is made in a certain place and that place has an expertise over the product, it can claim to be, it can use the name of that place without any permission. Okay. For example, if you are a farmer growing oranges in Nagpur. Without any permission, you can write, you can say Nagpur oranges. If I am a watchmaker in Switzerland, anybody, but I am making the watch in Switzerland, I can say mine is a Swiss watch. But it should originate from Switzerland. Why is that? Because some places will get some expertise and skill over time, or some climatic conditions will support, like Shimla apples, like Darjeeling tea, like Mysore